Okay, people, so we're going to work through some of these algorithm practice on freeCodeCamp. I find these much easier to work with if I go into this REPL.it, just because the output that you get when you run them in here, this output that's down here, it's just not very helpful. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. So what I like to do is take the instructions, put them over here, comment them out, and then I just copied this whole thing into my replit. So then I have my instructions and I can work with it here. Okay, so what are we doing here? We'll pass you an array of two numbers. By the way, this is intermediate algorithm scripting, sum all numbers in a range. We'll pass you an array of two numbers. Return the sum of those two numbers plus the sum of the numbers between them. The lowest number will not always come first. Okay, so what's going on here? They're going to give us an array, for example, 1 and 4, two numbers, okay? And they want the sum of those two numbers, but they also want the sum of the numbers in between. So we actually want the sum of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 in this case. So sounds like we need a loop. So let's start with that. Basic looping over an array kind of situation here. Let I equal, we don't want it to be 0 actually, because what we want to do is each time through the loop should be the numbers that we're adding, not the position. Normally you do a loop, you're setting I to be the position in the array. Not, I shouldn't say normally, but typically looping over an array, that's what you're doing. So here we're actually looping to get the values. So we want it to be not just the position, we want the value. So it's array 0, right? And then want it to go through I is less than, not normally if you're looping over an array you'd be saying array.length, but that would be 2. We don't want to. We want it to go all the way through 4. So how do we access the 4, the second position in the array? We do array 1, because we start counting at 1, right? At 0, so the second position is 1. So I plus plus, right? That moves us on to the next iteration of the loop. So what are we doing with these? We've got these array things here. This is not Talk Like a Pirate Day, so let's not have that many R's. And then we're gonna, well, each time we loop through this right now, we're gonna have, what are we gonna have, right? We're gonna have I. Let's see what I is gonna be. Here's an easy way to do that. Just say I. Console loop, of course. In case you're wondering how that works, that's an ES6 thing. Like you could, if you make an object in ES6 and you say where the key and the value are the same, you don't have to write both. You just write it by itself. Okay, so it's saying the key is called I, and the first time through the value is 1. The second time through the value is 2. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. So that's not going to work because what happened before? We need to sum up 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. So let's see, where's that? Okay, it's because we're only going less than. So this should be less than or equal to. There we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. By the way, what you're doing here in this REPL.it is once you write your code, you hit the run. You probably have not seen me actually hit the run button, you can do Control Enter on PC or Command Enter on a Mac. And that does the equivalent of hitting the run button. Alright, so now we're looping through, we got all our values, so how do we add them up and return it, right? I'm going to need to create some sort of accumulator variable. We'll do that up here. Start it off with just being 0. We'll get rid of this console. We know what we're getting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Which is what we were hoping for. So then we just say accumulator plus equal, right? That should work. Make it look nice. And okay, wow, what's the problem? Okay, we didn't tell it to do anything, right? We just didn't tell it to return anything. Maybe that's the problem. No, it's a little red here. What's that coming from? Where is that from? Eval. It's an unexpected token. How is it unexpected? And now it's there. Whoa, what's going on? What? Let's go back to the last place I didn't have an error. Oh, does it have to be attached to it? Oh, because I have to tell it plus equal what? What am I adding to it? We're adding the value of I each time, right? So the first time through it's 1, so they're doing 0 plus 1, then that accumulator, which is now 1 plus 2, which is right. So maybe that's better. So it's going to return undefined because we're having it do this operation, but we're not telling it to return anything. So what do we do? 1. Okay. Well, so why did it stop at 1? Because we told it to return. That means it pops out of the loop. It stops running. So that's not what we want to do. We want to let it do the whole loop. And out here, once it's done, we'll return accumulator, and that should be 10. Okay. So then what I do is I take this, my answer here, and I know it seems like an extra step, but maybe you'll be able to see why I like doing it in there. Okay. So we run a test, but we didn't pass some. Why aren't these passing? Oh, because, like it said, the lowest number will not always be first. Okay. So let's see. What if we sort that array first, right? So let's see for a second here. What's going on if we do 4, 1, 0? Why is it 4, 1 is 0? Because this condition is already met, right? So it's just 0 right from the bat. It never does anything. Right, so we need to sort this first, and I'm pretty sure we can do something like, and I should just do it. That seems good. That's very easy, easier than I thought. It's a built-in array method in JavaScript, so what did I do? I had that just here, right? Still missing something. 5 and 10 now. Oh, okay. I've run into this before. What happens is it just goes by the first digit. So if you have 10 and 5, it thinks that this is sorted already because it's going 1 is less than 5. So to do sorted, because it makes it into, I think what it's actually doing there is it's treating it like a string, right? And if you do a string, it takes the first letter of the string, first character of the string, and in this case the 1 is going to be smaller than the 5. So we need to do, what you do is you pass a function in here, and I look it up every time. So it's array.sort, I'm sure it'll be the first thing that comes up, W3 school is fine, but I know it's in here, somewhere in here. Months array, no, that's not it. Here it is, comparing numbers instead of, to compare numbers instead of strings. The compare function can simply subtract B from A. The following will sort the array ascending. So we're going to take this function and we stick it in the parentheses here. Right? There it goes. But let's, we don't need all this junk. We'll just pass it in here. Let's do a little, make a little arrow. Right? So then we get rid of that and we can make this an arrow, and then we can get rid of the return because we don't need that even anymore. Get rid of this, close it up, and that should work. Right? How about that? All nice and nice little hipster one-liner code, right? So let's see if that works now. Hooray! Alright, we got one. You're on fire. Submitting good to the next challenge. That's all I'm doing for today, and I hope that helps. I hope the explanation helped, not just seeing the answer written down, and see that there's a process. Sometimes you just do a chunk, and you get partway through, you get some of the test to pass, and you just keep figuring out one little thing at a time until each part, you chip away at it, and you're probably not going to get them on the first try, and you're going to get some stuff right, some stuff wrong, and just keep working on one part until you get all the parts. Alright? Hope this helps, and we'll do another one tomorrow.